Well, if you want to get an idea of wow, oh wow, oh wow, how insane that speech was last night. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. I had my son's Little League game, so I didn't get home till well after even the Democratic Slotkins response to the speech. But I want to play for you first. Welcome, come on in, everybody. By the way, you're going to give you everything you missed, all the top moments. This is the one. Sit back, relax. We got a lot to share. Grab your favorite drink, your favorite snack, what have you. We've got a terrific show for you today. Welcome. Tap that thumbs up. Tell me where you're joining me from, what city, what state, what country. Here's just a taste. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen, and I've got you know me, I've got a perfect theory as to why. You know, your boy, Professor Nez, always has the goods because I bring the due diligence, I bring the qualitative and quantitative research. But listen to this. This is, I think, the reason why uh, um, I couldn't put it any better than Caroline Levitt, the White House press secretary, her White House briefing today. I want to share this very short clip of her explaining, what we all felt after watching this. And then stay tuned. I got clips coming.
The behavior of Democrats last night was completely disgraceful and demonstrated how severely out of touch they are with the American public. It was the most shameful moment in the history of presidential addresses in that beautiful chamber. In what was supposed to be a unifying moment for our country, Democrat members of Congress instead screamed at the President of the United States, who was just overwhelmingly reelected by their constituents, walked out of the chamber, and worst of all, they disrespected the American people. Democrats didn't stand to keep men out of women's sports. They couldn't even clap for a girl who got her head smashed in by a man on a volleyball court. Democrats didn't stand for an innocent and beautiful child who is surviving brain cancer. They opposed eliminating taxes on tips and Social Security. They didn't stand in favor of cutting taxes for hardworking Americans. They couldn't even clap for two mothers whose daughters were killed by illegal aliens. One of the only things that could get Democrats off their feet last night was cheering for Ukraine, not for America. Last night was a very clarifying moment for our country. The Democrats exposed themselves as the party of insanity and hate, the party that wants to put America last. They've allowed their Trump derangement syndrome to stop them from celebrating America and our people, and we will not allow them to forget that. And it's not just the Democrat Party. The mainstream media still doesn't get it. Last night, MSNBC's Nicole Wallace disgustingly looped in a 13-year-old boy with brain cancer into an attack on the president over January 6th. And CNN's first chyron out of the speech called it divisive. President Trump wasn't divisive. The Democrats were. And CNN was proven wrong by their own viewers, 69% of whom, in a post-speech poll, said they had a positive reaction to the president's speech. It's sad and frankly pathetic that Democrats and liberals in the legacy media continue to allow their hatred for the president to override their love for our country. But nevertheless, the president will continue to unify this nation through policies that are grounded in common sense and that uplift all Americans.
Yeah, I'm going to actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually share some stats real quick before we get into the highlights. And it was just everything that she just said right there is absolutely 100% accurate, by the way. But if you look at this right here, so 76%, Brit Hume actually called it. Brit Hume, who's been around forever, I mean, 50, 60 years, he called it the greatest speech he's ever heard by a president. That's Brit Hume, by the way. And so this is a bipartisan, right? I mean, poll. 76% of Americans approve. But wait, there's more because I've got even more. Let me know in the comments, by the way, if you happen to have seen the entire speech. But wait, there's more. Look at this. 68% of Americans said that President Trump's speech made them feel hopeful. 54% said they felt proud after watching the speech. Only 27% and 16%, these are probably the brainwashed viewers of the hypocrite corporate woke media, said they were worried and they were upset. Among speech watchers, 74%, this is again CBS. This is, I always try to bring you the unvarnished truth. This is not some sort of conspiracy. This isn't some sort of skewed chart or skewed demographic, etc. This is directly from the actual enemy within, which is the legacy media. And 74% said presidential. Another 74% said it was entertaining. 71% said it was inspiring. 62% said it was unifying. And then the 46%, probably mostly residing in CNN's parking lot, said it was divisive. I, for one, so I was at my son's Little League game. I'm coaching this year, my son's Little League game, and I wasn't able to. I wasn't even really able to watch the entire speech, and I just collapsed last night. So I kind of watched the majority of it this morning. But here, I actually want to play for you, and then we're going to jump into highlights here. Here is Brit Hume right after President Trump's speech, talking about how powerful this speech was. Just take a quick listen to this.
This was the most boisterous, the longest, the most partisan speech I've ever heard a president give in this kind of setting, and I go back about maybe 50 years on this. I also think it may have been the most effective. I mean, if you ever doubted that Donald Trump is the colossus, the political colossus of our time and our nation, this night and this speech should have put that to rest. The Democrats seem to be falling into trap after trap after trap as he recognized these people and celebrated the people he pointed to in the gallery and their stories, while the Democrats sat glumly on their hands through all of that. It was a terrible look. Al Green's attempt to disrupt the speech was.
Yeah, I don't know if there was. I mean, within 30 seconds, I mean, the Democrats just displayed how much they hate us, how much they hate our country, and how they're. I posted a verse from the Bible, from the book of John, and talking about the blind. I mean, they're blinded. They are blinded by their hatred of Trump so much that they're destroying our country. They don't see through the darkness of their own hate. Huge shout out to Mike Rogers. I know you're trying to get Maine to come back to the table of common sense. It's great to see you, Mike. Thank you so much for that beautiful super chat. Thank you, Robbie Reeder, Jim Barron. We got the best mods in the business. I want to start with this. So I'm going to go through some clips that I think are going to blow you away. But I'd like to start off with this. So mentioning the fact that the Democrats did not once did they cheer for Jocelyn Nungare's family, Laken Riley, for this poor volleyball player who was physically abused, physically mauled by a male athlete. They all sat for all of that. But as soon as Ukraine was mentioned, so the only time they stood, the only time the Democrats, the hypocrites, I'm calling them the enemy within. And I'll tell you my theory. I think it's going to get me in trouble. I really think it's going to get me in trouble. Most of you who are original Nez Nation viewers, most of you guys know this. You know this about me. I've been saying this forever. By the way, we are so back. We are so back. If you want to get your very own 100% made in the USA original Patriot Nez Nation merch, link is in the pinned comment, also in the description. My mods will share it too, or just go to professornez.com/merch. Woo! We are so back. 76%, over 76% of Americans were inspired by our president. I'm going to share with you exactly why. And don't worry, I'll share with you the crappy, unbelievable Al Green clip as well. But they sat in their chairs for everything except for this mention. Watch this.
With no end in sight, the United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense. With no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. $2,000 people have
Pocahontas says yes. How do you not love this guy? How do you not love this guy? That's our president. Okay, let's get into some good stuff. Holy macadamia nut. That just gets me so pumped up. If that gets you pumped up, give me a capital yeah. Of course. Of course Pocahontas does. Of course she does. The very first words out of our brilliant, mesmerizing, powerful, strong, America first, American home team president. Listen to this amazing clip right here. I just absolutely think this is so tremendous, and it just gives me nothing but pride. I want to share with you really quickly because this is just so good. But these are the very first words out of our president. Watch this. This is phenomenal. Check this out.
Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States. Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back. 6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before.
I don't know how you don't love this. I don't know how you don't celebrate this. I don't know how you don't support this. We have, I mean, there's no question at all. Even some of your very own have stated this. Even some of you hypocrites that still have a semblance of a heart molecule left in your chest have stated this, that we have a closed border. We actually have safety and security. We actually have, I mean, unprecedented Hard work from a president answering real questions in real time, taking hours and hours of questions from the press, answering, making Americans feel like we're alive again. The spirit of 76 is alive again. I mean, how do you not support this? Somebody tell me. I mean, it makes no sense at all. It absolutely makes no sense at all. Well, within 30 seconds, we have the Al Green moment. I'm going to first play for you this, where you can see, I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. This is the moment that Al Green, where things started to get a little bit hectic. Listen to this.
Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever. Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
You can see J.D. Vance kind of speaking for all of us, saying, get him out of here, get him out of here. So, my fellow Americans, this is really important to point out, and this is kind of maybe one of the most viral clips. There's so much beauty to share. I'm going to share with you a lot of beautiful moments. Let's just get this crap out of the way, because this is so important. My fellow Americans, the Hippocrats. Thank you so much, Robbie Reeder. I love you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. My fellow Americans, within literally the first minute of President Trump speaking, there was all this, I went to the game and I told my wife, text me if they start throwing eggs, because I had to catch that if they did. Because there was all this talk, I guess there was this Axios report that the Democrats were going to start throwing. I mean, this is, again, I know exactly why. And I'll share that with you if you want me to. It's not pretty, but I know exactly why. We have the most disgusting, repulsive, classless, graceless, decorumless group of individuals we've ever seen in our hallowed chambers of Congress, of government in the United States of America. This is the most repulsive group of people I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. There was all these reports they were going to actually throw eggs. And then Jasmine, full of crock of beep, you know what? She released a music video, a pathetic rap video at the same time of Trump's speech to go live. What? This is the most repulsive. This is the most offensive. This is the most unqualified. You see where I'm going. The least requisite filling as far as skills, qualifications, credentials, group of individuals to occupy those hallowed seats in the history of our democratic constitutional republic. History. Here's the moment. So preceding that was this moment where Speaker Johnson, slams on his gavel. And then you have this moment right here where Mr. Al Green, this is kind of Al Green to me reminds me of what you see when you go into a public porta potty and that look of horror, especially if you're a dude. I mean, I don't know if girls or women face this, but every man knows exactly that look, because as soon as the oh dear hits your nostrils, it's like an atomic bomb just went off in your sensory perceptive apparatus, and a look of horror, something you've never seen before, greets you back in that toilet bowl, which is why I dread going to public porta potties. This is what Al Green reminds me of. And so I want you to take a look at this egregious behavior, because this is kind of the highlighted moment of the night. And you know what I think is really important to point out here? President Trump was very, very graceful. President Trump was very patient. President Trump was very presidential. He could have easily have responded. I think they wanted that. They were trying to incite some kind of reaction from him. See what kind of a pig he is. See, they're just constantly. It's like a neighborhood bully, constantly trying to push buttons and poke you and find out where your weak spot is and try to exploit you, and get a reaction or some kind of mean troll. We got a lot of trolls on this channel as well. Listen to this.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant at Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
So that was within the first 30 seconds. And they couldn't even sit down for a second and just be respectful. By the way, what he just did right there, Al Green, was not only disrespect the office of the president, not only disrespect President Trump, not only disrespect the millions of people trying to watch and listen to their elected president tell them about the state of their country, their union, okay? State of the union. What is the state of our current union? Where are we? Where are we going? What are we doing? What's happening with our taxpayer dollars? Remember, they work for us. They are public servants. Not only is it a disrespect for all that, not only is it a disrespect to the Vice President of the United States, not only is it a disrespect to the Speaker of the House, not only is it a disrespect to all the Joint Army chiefs of staff, the chief justices that are there. Don't worry, I'll talk about Amy Barrett. Holy mackerel, what a nightmare Amy Barrett is. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but the Supreme Court with Justice Alito writing a pretty heated dissent form, which I think absolutely was warranted. It was just preposterous. They basically voted for some rogue judge to continue aiding USAID with our federal taxpayer dollars. Some rogue, crazy judge. And who was the one who voted against it? Who was the one who voted against us cutting off funding to USAID? You guessed it, ABC, ACB, whatever the hell her name is, Amy Coney Barrett. My God. I think she's a secret spy for the liberals. I don't know. But this has been happening way too often. And so anyway, excuse me for a second. I got to sneeze. Not only is Al Porta Potty Green disrespecting so many people, okay, but he's also disrespecting the will of the people by disrupting our president that we democratically voted for in a resounding fashion on November 5th. He won every single swing state. He won the popular vote by a lot. And by the way, if there was actual voter ID in the states that Kamala won, it would have been by a lot more. God knows how many votes were unclassified, were unverified, were unofficial, based on states where you've got blue run states where there's zero voter ID. You need an ID to get on an airplane. You need an ID to rent a car. God knows why these states are not mandating that you need a voter ID to make one of the most consequential decisions that a citizen can make in their country, which affects billions of lives. Because America is the leader of the free world. It doesn't just affect 375 million Americans. The decisions that are made on November 5th affect billions of lives because we are the leader of the free world. He stands up in the first minute of his speech. He stands up in the first minute of his speech and defies the will of the American people. He defies the will of the democratically elected process that he is supposedly there to serve. He is utter gutter trash. And he should be not only expelled, he should not only face suspension or whatever they're saying he's going to face some kind of suspension. He should be thrown out, permanently thrown out is what should happen to him. All right, let's get on to some more beautiful stuff, shall we? Because I've got a lot of beautiful stuff. I got a lot of beautiful stuff to share. I want to share this one. I think this probably was the best line. I honestly think this was probably the best line of the night when in regards to the border. And so I'm going to actually share this with you right now because I think this is just so powerful. Listen to this line right here. This is just real quick.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
You know, I would go as far as saying an actual president. Yes, a new president, Mr. President, but I would actually say an actual president. How can you not support the fact that we literally have a 90, it's practically 100%. We have a 95% drop, a 95% drop in illegal, these are people breaking the law, illegal border crossings. I want to show you something. This is extremely important, everybody. I want to show you this. Look at this. This is historic, my fellow Americans. Absolutely historic. Look what happened in 2020. Look at how the graph absolutely leaps off the page at the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020, and look where it is. So it's above 240,000. It's above 240,000 illegal border crossings in 2023, 2024. Look where it is now. Look at the end of the graph. I'm going to zoom in. Look where it is now. It's at 8,450. We're talking like a 6,000%. I don't know. You do the math. I'm not a mathematician, but that's really, really low. How can you not support that? How can you not get up? How can you get up and not actually celebrate that? These are just facts. These aren't feelings. This isn't bipartisan. This has nothing to do with Republican and Democrat. This is our country, America. Without a secure border, we have nothing. As Aristotle said over 2,000 years ago, if you don't have law and order, you don't have a society. Tom Homan has said, I've worked for 15 different presidents. Nobody is as good as President Trump when it comes to securing the border. On the very first day, he signed an executive order on the very first day, closing the border. How do you not love that? This is for our grandkids. This is for our grandkids, his grandkids' future. This is our country we're talking about here. You can't celebrate that? Okay, we got a lot more. It just makes me so angry. It makes me so angry. I apologize. It just makes me so angry. This is what this guy represents. It just makes me so angry. This is what this guy thinks he's doing. He thinks he's actually helping. That's what he thinks. This is what this guy is shouting against. He's shouting against secure border. He's shouting against men not being allowed to beat up women and get medals for it. He's shouting against law and order. He's shouting against tariffs that finally put us on equal footing with the rest of the world, which is going to build our economy, build jobs, and leave us less dependent on foreign entities. He's shouting and going crazy for DEI, which is discriminatory practices, cancerous DEI policies. This is what he's shouting for. Make it make sense. Somebody make it make sense. Their derangement has consumed them. I posted this on X, and I want to share this really fast because I think it's really important. So this was taken from chapter 1 in the book of John, verse 2, paragraph 11. But whoever hates his brother is in the darkness and walks in the darkness and does not know where he is going. Follow me on X, by the way, for the love of God. Every single one of you guys watching on the replay, watching live, should be following me on X. I post 6,000 times more on X than I do anywhere else. Whoever hates his brother is in the darkness and walks in the darkness and does not know where he is going because the darkness has blinded his eyes. My fellow Americans, my fellow global citizens, the hypocrites, aka the Democrats, I call them the hypocrites because they're just full of hypocrisy, lies, deceit, cunning, and everything else. They're so blinded by their TDS. They're so blinded by their hatred. They can't even stand for Laken Riley. They can't even stand to keep men out of women's sports. They can't even stand for this next clip that I'm going to share with you, where a child who has brain cancer, and President Trump does this amazing thing of honoring him with this amazing gesture of making him an honorary member of the Secret Service. And they sat in their chairs for this beautiful moment that I'm about to share with you right now. I want to share with you this in case you missed it. But this was a fantastic moment and one that I think deserves to be shared. And I just don't understand how you cannot have a heart and love this, because this is absolutely breathtaking what he does right here. And the fact that they don't stand up, the fact that all they do is sit down. By the way, they sat down. This was the first speech in the history of our country where they sat down the entire speech. They did not get up once. This is the first time in the history of State of the Union speeches. Listen to this.
I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
You can see them all sitting in the background. You can see them all sitting in their chairs. How do you not get up for a child with brain cancer? Did you see that beautiful look of astonishment? That beautiful look of sincere astonishment in that young boy's eyes. That is a memory that will be forever etched in time immemorial in the history of our country. They're going to look at that clip 1,000 years from now and be like, what a beautiful moment, giving that kid so much light and hope. This is what America's all about. This is the promised land, the land of hope, the land of opportunity. If you work your butt off, blood, sweat, and tears, I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what sexual orientation, ethnicity, background, race. It doesn't matter. If you work your butt off and you earn it and you do it every single day and you bust your hump, you can make it. That's the American dream. That's America. Not DEI. Well, we got to fill our quotas. So now we got planes falling out of the sky. We got planes flipping over. We got air traffic controllers who were qualified, thrown out of their positions by the Biden Kamala Harris to fulfill DEI quotas. Why? And what's DEI based on? Zero merit, color of your skin completely out of your control, your gender completely out of your control, chosen by God, and the pigmentation that you have, race, ethnicity, all the things that are 1,000,000,000% out of your control. Who is in favor of celebrating things that you have absolutely no governance over? You don't measure your decision based on arbitrary, random characteristics that you have goose egg control over. That's called discrimination. That is true racism. The reason why we have the most repulsive group of individuals to ever hold these seats is because of this cancerous DEI. Some people call it a woke mind virus. It's a parasitic contagion. The reason why it's so destructive, and I call it the worst thing that could ever infect a society, is because it's invisible. It's impalpable. You can't see it, touch it, feel it. But it affects every artery of life. It affects every vertical. It affects every single human being in one way, shape, or another, in a myriad of invisible ways that we can never ascertain. Can you imagine if Kamala would have won? If she would have just cheated a little bit harder? This speech, holy macadamia nut. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for protecting President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Thank you, God. I love you. Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine if Kamala would have won? This country would have been flushed down the toilet like Al Green's beard. Okay, I've got so much more. I've got so much more to share with you. What a beautiful moment that was. They sat down for that. They sat down. They didn't get up for that. Of course, they didn't get up for that. Here's a moment right here that I want to share. By the way, I thought this was fantastic. President Trump directly, basically saying the same thing that I've been saying. He directly confronts the Democrats. And I just think this is so amazing. He actually pleads for them to join them, but knows that there's nothing they can do because these guys are absolutely deranged. And so I want to play this clip right here. I thought this was really, really powerful, what he did right here. And so here's what I want to do is I'm going to share this because I think this is so powerful. And I'm going to absolutely, I think this is just tremendous. Listen to him directly plea with the Democrats in this powerful way. Watch this.
This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. 5 times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
They'll never do it. They'll never do it. That's why I shared that John, that Bible quote from the book of John. They'll never do it because they're completely blinded by their hatred. They have no idea. They'll just never do it. I want to share some more beautiful clips from this great speech. Here's President Trump talking about unleashing American energy, which I think is so cool. Check this out right here, where he talks about drill, baby, drill. I love this.
Major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill. My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
Fantastic stuff. So everything that he promised, pretty much everything that he said he was going to do, he's coming through with it, such as also signing this executive order, which I'm going to share with you right now, on ending and banning men from playing in women's sports. Check this out. Love it.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. Three years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding. And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Our daughters, why would you want to jeopardize our daughters? Why would you want to absolutely eradicate all their hard work, blood, sweat, and tears? Why even have women's sports? What's the point of women's sports? I mean, is it that hard? I mean, this is basic, fundamental common sense. How does that have any partisan quality at all? It's bipartisan. I think most Democrats who have any sensibility, at least the ones that are still, not sucked into the woke mind virus, I think they still kind of are like, yeah, absolutely. I can't believe they blocked it in the Senate, but I know those in the House were for it. Speaking of President Trump doing amazing things in that regard, here is President Trump referring to Laken Riley and Laken Riley's family, which I think is a beautiful moment right here. Check out this clip right here where he addresses that. Watch this.
Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren. Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley.
And of course, the Democrats don't stand for that. I mean, this family has been absolutely ravaged. So the so-called party that's for law and order, you've got people who have, look, this is the biggest misperception out there. President Trump has said time and time again, we want the best people. We want immigrants. Tom Homan has said time and time again, we want the best people. We want immigrants. There's nothing wrong with immigrants. They have to go through the legal processes and systems. They have to go through the port of entry, like every citizen who has earned their right to call themselves an American citizen has. Anybody who is here illegally has broken the law, and an illegal criminal alien migrant ended the life of Laken Riley, who had so much promise, just got accepted to her university of choice, filled with light. That family's life is over. I mean, these are crimes of the highest order. Kamala, who was elected the border czar at the very outset of Biden's ridiculous, absurd, dark regime. And she didn't do anything. Not only did she not czar the border, but she put out the red carpet to these people. Why? Again, my God, it's such a crime. It's a crime of the highest order. I mean, it's a crime of the highest order. These guys deserve to be in front of a tribunal. You have no voter ID. Here's a fact. Forget your feelings. Here's a fact. The only states, I mean, if this is not demonstrative of a complete and utter con and criminal act, I don't know what is. The only states that Kamala won were states where there was zero voter ID. How can you not see? These are facts now, facts, okay? Not one state that had voter ID requirements did she win. She didn't win a single state that had voter ID. Not one. Trump won every single state that had voter ID, including swing states. That discrepancy is unheard of. That disparity, statistically, mathematically, is an impossibility. We know that Biden flew in people. Not only did he give them the red carpet and let them come through the border, not only did he deny the Border Patrol Union, I mean, viscerally endorsed President Trump. ICE agents weren't allowed to do their jobs. Border Patrol agents weren't allowed to do their jobs. They auctioned off pieces of the wall for cents and pennies on the dollar. They auctioned off the wall that we paid for, which, by the way, where did the money go? Who got the money for that? Then on our taxpayer dime, which Doge and Elon Musk has uncovered, I mean, it's just right there, plain black and white. Why do they hate Elon Musk? Because he's exposing them for the criminals that they are. Why are they showing so much outrage for cutting USAID and all these other programs that are absolutely bleeding us dry like leeches? Is because they're being exposed for the fraud and criminals that they are. Where was the outrage when the Lahaina fire happened in Maui? Where was the outrage? Where were the protests? Where were the protests when Americans who are still living in tents in North Carolina and displaced homeowners, displaced people and citizens of Los Angeles, Florida, North Carolina, West Virginia, Lahaina, Maui, where was the outrage? Where were the protests? Where was the yelling and shouting? Goose egg, crickets. I can't do a good cricket impression. But all of a sudden now you have outrage when you're being outed for the frauds that you are, when you're being outed for the money launderers that you are, when you're being outed for the thieves, the low-life thieves that you are. Now you're upset. Tell me that's not revealing. Let me know in the comments what you think. These are facts. These are not feelings. This has nothing to do with being a Trumpster or da-da-da-da. It has nothing to do with that. These are facts. What does that tell you? If you exercise even a modicum of critical discernment and critical thinking, it's absolutely plain as day. Don't get me started, for the love of God. Cockroaches, absolute cockroaches. President Trump says, "Dear Laken Riley, America will never forget you." He also formally renamed the Anahuac National Wildlife Refuge as the Jocelyn Nungare National Wildlife Refuge. I want to absolutely share this with you right here. This is amazing. Check out this. This is so cool.
But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungare from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter. And earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
Another family ruined, another family completely uprooted. As a father to 2 kids, I mean, I can't even imagine what Jocelyn Nungary's mom and family is going through. And the Democrats refuse to stand and applaud. They stay seated for law and order. They stay seated for shutting down the border. They stay seated for eliminating DEI. They stay seated for eliminating men and women's sports, brutalizing and harming women and getting medals for it. They stayed seated for everything, literally everything. They also stayed seated for President Trump honoring Stephanie Diller, who was the wife of a fallen New York Police Department NYPD officer, Jonathan Diller. I know you guys remember that last year. And I want to share that with you really quickly, because I think this is, again, I think this is a testament to who Trump is. And I think this is really, really powerful. Check this out.
1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, so we're going to do it fast.
This poor woman, can you believe it? I mean, this poor woman has a brand new baby. She has a brand new life with this amazing officer. This guy was young, too. Jonathan Diller was, I think, in his late 20s or maybe even early. I mean, he was young. That's the point. He was super, super young. What a tragedy that is. I can't even imagine. I just can't even imagine. You know, we're so lucky. I mean, some of us, we don't understand how lucky we are. And, you know, we have the things that we have, the things that we complain about are pretty ridiculous when you think about what other people have lost. And it's so heartbreaking. And of course, they all sat down, all the Democrats. I want to play for you. Finally, I want to play for you what I think is one of the most powerful closings. Again, this has been, you know, across the board. People have across the board. People have said that this was one of the best speeches, ever by any president. And I think this is a great way to end this stream. And I think this is actually the top moment, not the moment where ridiculous Al Porta Potty Green was sent out by the Master of Arms, not the moment where Trump got Pocahontas, even though that was pretty good, not the moment where Trump called out the Democrats, which was really good, the moment that he gave DJ that beautiful honor of becoming a Secret Service agent, which was amazing. I think this closer right here just seals the deal. We are so back. I hope you enjoy this as much as I did when I first saw it. Check out this unbelievable closing remarks by President Trump. Amazing.
This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond. And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve. My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless America.
I believe every word of it. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much. I believe every word of it. He is not only come through, and not only is this everything that we voted for and more, he has superseded all of my expectations. He has gone above and beyond all of my expectations. I can't wait to get your comments on this. Never in my life, and I've seen a lot of presidents, never in my, yeah, we're very close to 500,000 subscribers, 500,000. We're going to do a huge giveaway. We're very close, very close. We're at 498. We're only, actually 498 and a little bit of change. So we're only about 1,000, 1,800, 1,900 subs away from 500,000, which is a huge honor. I owe it all to you guys. I love you guys so much. I want to give shout outs to everybody who has given super chats and gifted memberships. Now is the time to be a member, because I'm telling you right now, I've given away thousands of dollars in Amazon gift cards. I've given thousands of dollars of merch, hats, hoodies, shirts, backpacks, cups, mugs, you name it, and a whole lot more. You also get access to our members-only Discord, which is phenomenal, as well as a whole bunch of other amenities, and you're supporting the best channel on planet Earth, helping to make common sense go viral, saving our country, saving our grandkids' future. I truly believe in that mission. I truly believe all of us, not just me. This is a collaborative effort. We got the best mods in the business. We got the best viewers in the business. We got the best research in the business. We got the best truth in the business, and we bring it to you every single day ad infinitum, 24/8. Nobody's better than us. I believe that with every fiber of my being. Quite frankly, probably the greatest YouTube channel I've ever seen. I've watched a lot of them, but Professor Nay's a good-looking guy, too. Thank you, Mr. President. I love you. We're never going to stop, y'all. As long as there is oxygen in my lungs, I'm going to bring it to you every single day, 24/8. I am the hardest working at this than anybody. All of this growth is absolutely symbolic of the hope, the promise, the opportunity. You know, anybody who could put their mind to this and put in the blood, sweat, and tears that we have could achieve this. That's the beauty of America. It is an equal playing field. I've been a business owner for over 30 years, okay? I have never, ever, I guarantee you ask 100 business owners, 99.99 of them will say the exact same thing. Are there racists out there? Of course. Are there bigots out there? Of course. But you ask 100 business owners, and I guarantee you 99.99% of them will say they have never made a hiring decision based on race, based on color of skin, ethnicity, sexual orientation, age, whatever. I think I can speak for most business owners, especially as successful as I've been in the past. We only care about one thing. Can you solve my problem? I need a project manager. I need an accountant. I need a sales manager. Can you solve my problem? I need a marketer. I need somebody to head up my marketing campaigns. Can you solve my problem? I don't care what you look like. I don't care how many pronouns you have. Well, I might care about that because that would tell me a lot about who you are. But I don't give a crap. Nobody gives a crap. All we want to know is, can you solve our problem? Can you solve my headache? I have a headache. You need to be my Excedrin. I don't care what you look like. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you do in the privacy of your own home. This is a free country. Do whatever you want, but you don't force that crap down my kid's throat, my throat, and make the world acquiesce to you. That's not how it works. That's not America. And so that's what we're fighting for here. And we're trying to get back to the America that we grew up in, and I hope you'll join us. I want to give a big shout out. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. Welcome, Christopher Lundbaum Jr. How do you say that? Say that 20 times. I'm probably mispronouncing that. I apologize. Welcome as a new member. Thank you, Sherry at the Lake, for the $1.99 super chat. Don't be diabolical with the $4.99 super chat. President Trump is a God-loving patriot. Thank you so much. His speech moved me and touched my soul. It was amazing, wasn't it? I love the way you said that. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Robbie Reeder, thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Jim Barron. I appreciate you. We got the best mods in the business. Booed 417 became a member. Congratulations. Robbie, you're amazing. Vance is like a kid at a rock concert. Totally. Too big to rig. Thank you. Thank you, JB. Thank you, Robbie Reeder. You're amazing, Robbie. Thank you so much. Thank you, JB, for the gifted membership. Thank you, Robbie Reeder. Welcome in, everybody. And Mike Rogers, I got to give you, holy mackerel. Mike, you're absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for all you do, Mike. These are just too much. You don't have to do this. You really don't. But I want you to know that I really, really appreciate you because I know how much you love your country. I can feel it in my bones. The way that you comment, the way that you contribute, the way that you participate. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've never in the history of my life have I ever seen a master of arms. I've seen a lot of speeches. I've never seen a master of arms remove an actual member, a derelict, a delinquent, an absolute lunkhead, Al Porta-Potty Green. I've never seen anybody be removed like that, especially within the first 45 to a minute. I've never seen that before in my life. Why am I saying this? Because we got our work cut out for us, y'all. This is far from over. We got our country back. We got the right people in leadership positions. We got the right caliber of individuals, but we got a lot of work cut out for us because these guys are never going to stop. Apparently, seemingly, as what I can ascertain and what I see, these guys are never going to stop. So we need to fight. If you love America and you don't want these evil vermin to succeed, I want you to tap that thumbs up. Tap it right now. Share this with everybody that you know. Make sure you subscribe. Check out the video coming up on the screen right now because we have a long road ahead of us. And your boy Nez is going to be with you every single step of the way. Thank you. I love each and every one of you. And as always, may God bless you.